The wind whispers across the Heartland Ranch, carrying a sense of anticipation that feels almost electric. Somewhere along the dusty path, a familiar figure appears, hesitant, her heart pounding with every step. For years, the thought of this moment has been lodged in her mind. What will they think? Will the past finally be left behind? Or will old wounds resurface? Today, everything changes. Today, Lyndy will finally see Ty and Amy again. The air is thick with emotion, and even the horses seem to sense the tension, their soft neighs echoing across the open fields. This is a reunion years in the making, one that will bring tears, relief, perhaps the start of forgiveness. Lyndy steps out of her car, her hands trembling slightly as she grips the door. The ranch stretches before her, familiar yet changed in subtle ways, the fence posts slightly weathered, the paddocks neat and alive with grazing horses. Her boots crunch softly on the gravel as she pauses for a moment, drawing a deep breath, trying to steady herself. The camera doesn't show her face, only the small gestures that speak louder than words, a hand brushing hair from her eyes, fingers curling nervously around her coat, and the slight sway of her posture that betrays the storm of emotion inside her. Every step toward the house feels heavier than the last. Like walking through layers of memories, some sweet, some painful. Voiceover captures her racing thoughts. I've imagined this moment 1,000 times. But now that it's here, I'm not sure I'm ready. What if they can't forgive me? What if things have changed too much? The ranch, usually a place of comfort, now feels like a stage. Every detail magnified, the swing creaking gently in the wind, the soft lowing of a calf nearby, and the sun glinting off the barn roof like a spotlight on her nervous journey. Flashbacks flicker softly on the screen, brief images of past misunderstandings, hurried goodbyes, and moments when she and Ty or Amy had drifted apart. None of these show faces. Instead, we see hands parting, letters being folded, and footprints in the mud fading away. These visuals emphasize the weight of the past without needing words. Music swells gently, adding to the anticipation. A melody that tugs at the heart and signals that something important is about to happen. As Lyndy walks closer to the house, the camera shifts to Ty and Amy. They are seen from behind, or through the doorway, faceless but tense. Ty's hands are clenched loosely at his sides. Amy paces slightly, stopping occasionally as if unsure how to react. The voiceover captures their silent thoughts. Could this really be her? After all this time, can we let the past go? These subtle cues create a tangible tension in the air, showing viewers that this reunion isn't just about seeing each other. It's about facing years of unspoken emotions. Lyndy stops just short of the porch, taking a moment to steady her breath. She glances down at the gravel, then up at the house. Her body language a mixture of hope and fear. Every small movement, her fingers brushing the edge of the porch railing. Her boots shifting slightly on the steps tells the story of someone who has carried the weight of guilt, longing, and uncertainty for far too long. Voiceover reflects her inner plea. Please, let this be the moment we start over. Let them still see me as the person I want them to know, not the mistakes I've made. The camera pans slowly to capture the ranch from Lyndy's perspective. Wide fields, familiar barns, and the open sky above, all bathed in soft golden sunlight. It's a visual metaphor for the possibilities that lie ahead if they can find forgiveness. Small details, a horse nudging its foal. The gentle sway of tree branches emphasize that life goes on, even as the past waits to be reconciled. The music swells slightly, signaling that the next step will finally bring them together. Finally, she takes a deep breath and lifts her head, stepping onto the porch. Each movement is deliberate, almost ritualistic, like crossing a threshold not just of space, but of time and emotion. The camera holds on her hands, gripping the railing. The slight shake of her shoulders and the subtle way her weight shifts forward, hinting at the courage it takes to face what has been delayed for so long. Voiceover, no more running. No more hiding. It's time to see them. To see Ty and Amy, and to let them see me. The scene ends with a pause, just before the door opens. The air heavy with anticipation, and the viewer is left on the edge of their seat, ready for the emotional reunion that's about to unfold. Lyndy pauses at the edge of the yard, the warm sunlight catching the edges of her coat, highlighting the tension in her posture. From a distance, Ty and Amy notice her presence before she even steps closer. Faceless glimpses reveal Ty standing by the fence, his shoulders stiff, one hand resting on the wood as if bracing himself. Amy moves closer to the doorway, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her sweater, a subtle rhythm betraying the mix of hope and fear in her heart. They don't speak yet. No words are needed. Every movement, every breath, every shift of weight speaks volumes. The camera focuses on small, intimate details. A horse raising its head to watch the unfolding scene. The gentle sway of the barn door in the breeze, shadows stretching across the gravel. Lyndy takes a careful step forward, each one measured as if testing the ground beneath her. The voiceover captures her inner dialogue. This is it. No turning back now, please. Please, let them still care. The music swells softly, a heartbeat-like rhythm that mirrors the pounding in her chest, building anticipation for the moment their eyes might meet. A sudden breeze moves through the trees, rustling leaves in a soft whisper. Lyndy stops, her hand lightly brushing against a post for support. Through the lens, the camera captures her reflection in the glass of the house window, a ghostly double of herself, nervous yet determined. The reflection mirrors her emotions, showing viewers the vulnerability and courage intertwined in this approach. Simultaneously, Ty shifts his stance slightly, almost imperceptibly leaning forward as if trying to read the emotions hidden behind her silhouette. Amy's foot taps lightly against the porch, a rhythm of anxious anticipation that feels almost musical. Syncing with the tension in the scene, flashbacks punctuate the scene. Quick and subtle. A folded note left on a counter. A handshake that lingered too long. A shared laugh now distant in memory. None of these flashbacks show faces, only hands, shadows, or fleeting glimpses of objects that carry the weight of the past. Each image reminds viewers of the history these three share, the highs and lows, the moments of connection and separation that make this reunion so charged with emotion. Lyndy finally lifts her gaze, looking in the direction of Ty and Amy, facelessly. The camera captures the first glimpse moment. The wind lifts her hair slightly, and the sunlight catches the curve of her hand as she hesitates mid-step. Ty and Amy mirror this hesitation, one slow step forward, one quiet inhale, creating a delicate dance of emotions before contact is made. The voiceover emphasizes this silent tension. I can see them, and yet it feels like the first time all over again. Can they forgive me? Can I forgive myself? Every second stretches, the pause almost unbearable, as if the world has slowed to give space for the unspoken. Horses shift in the paddock, leaves rustle, and the faint hum of distant life continues around them, contrasting with the intense, suspended moment at the heart of the ranch. It's a quiet storm of anticipation. The camera shifts between perspectives. Lyndy's trembling hands, Ty's tensed shoulders, Amy's hesitant steps, creating a visual triangle of emotions converging slowly, deliberately, toward the inevitable meeting. Finally, the section closes on the brink of contact. Lyndy's foot hovers over the last step to the porch, the sun glinting through her coat in golden streaks. Ty's hand rests lightly on the fence, as if bracing for impact. And Amy bites her lip, a subtle but powerful gesture of anxiety and hope. The music rises, soft but insistent, signaling that the next step will break the tension and move them into the emotional reunion that has been building since the very first scene. Lyndy's foot hovers over the last step, her heart beat loud in the quiet of the ranch. For a moment, everything freezes, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant lowing of horses, even the sunlight seems to hold its breath. Then, slowly, she steps forward, a hesitant but determined motion that signals the beginning of something long awaited. The camera doesn't show faces, only gestures, a hand reaching out, shoulders leaning in. The gentle sway of bodies moving toward each other. Ty is the first to respond, though subtly. His hand, facelessly shown, moves from the fence post to the space between them, a silent invitation. His body relaxes slightly, the tension in his shoulders softening as he mirrors Lyndy's steps. Amy hovers just behind, her fingers brushing her arm nervously. Caught between wanting to step in and allowing the moment to unfold naturally, the silence speaks louder than words, each breath and motion loaded with the weight of years apart. The voiceover captures the internal storms of all three. It's real. She's here. And after everything, we're here too. Can the past finally be left behind? Can we just be together? Lyndy reaches out, her hand trembling, brushing against the air just inches from Ty's arm. The camera lingers on small, intimate details. A sleeve shifting, fingers hesitating, shoulders relaxing. Each movement communicates volumes about fear, hope, the fragility of forgiveness. Slow motion captures the moment of initial contact. Lyndy's hand rests lightly on Ty's arm, a touch filled with apology and longing. Reaching out to touch Lyndy's hand as well, her gestures careful and tender. The camera focuses on hands, the back of necks, shoulders leaning in, creating a faceless yet profoundly human connection. Soft, emotional music underscores the scene, swelling as the tension begins to release. A series of subtle flashbacks punctuate the reunion. The echoes of laughter in the barn, hands passing letters, small gestures of care in the past, all faceless and symbolic. Showing the bond they've shared despite the distance, each memory adds depth to the reunion. Showing viewers that this moment is built on years of connection, longing, and unspoken emotions. The voiceover highlights the bittersweet nature of the moment. We've waited so long for a chance to forgive, to hold on, to feel each other again, and now it's finally here. The embrace begins slowly, facelessly captured through shoulders meeting, hair brushing against coats, and the gentle shift of bodies seeking comfort. Lyndy's posture relaxes, a soft exhale escaping her as Ty's arm subtly wraps around her back. Amy joins, hands resting lightly on both of them, completing the trio's connection. The camera pans out, showing the three of them together against the backdrop of the ranch, their reunion intimate yet powerful. Framed by the familiar landscape that has witnessed so much of their lives, the scene ends with a lingering shot of the trio holding each other, faceless but unmistakably connected. The sunlight glows warmly across the paddocks, reflecting the sense of healing, forgiveness, and the promise of new beginnings. The voiceover closes the section. Some reunions change everything. This one changes them forever. The air is still, but lighter now, as if the ranch itself has exhaled after the storm of emotions. The reunion has happened, and although words are few, the silence between Lyndy, Ty, and Amy is no longer heavy. It's full of understanding, forgiveness, and tentative joy. Facelessly, the camera captures subtle signs of relief. Shoulders relax, hands unclench, a small sway as they lean gently on one another. Every movement speaks of the weight being lifted, of old pain slowly dissolving into hope. Lyndy steps back slightly, giving space, but keeping close, and time mirrors her motion. The camera focuses on faceless details, their hands brushing. The gentle angle of heads turned toward one another, a slow exhale escaping someone's lips. Amy's fingers graze the railing, then fold together calmly. Small but powerful gesture signaling that she's no longer anxious, but present, ready to embrace the future. The wind rustles softly through the trees, carrying a sense of new beginnings across the ranch. Like nature itself is blessing this moment. Soft, warm music underscores the scene as faceless flashbacks weave briefly into the present. Horses running freely across the fields. Hands tying saddles together, shared moments of laughter and care. These fleeting memories remind viewers of the deep bond that ties them together, bonds that have endured challenges and distance. Emerging stronger now, voiceover captures the reflective tone. The past cannot be changed, but it can teach us. Today, we choose connection, we choose forgiveness, and we choose each other. The trio begins to move together toward the paddock, facelessly shown from behind as they walk in sync. The camera glances at the horses grazing nearby, then shifts to capture their footsteps on the gravel, soft and deliberate. Even without faces, viewers feel their shared energy, a quiet joy, a subtle laughter, a lingering touch on a shoulder. Each frame conveys reassurance, as if the ranch itself is embracing them, allowing them to find peace in one another's presence. A quiet moment occurs as Lyndy pauses, reaching out to gently touch the side of a horse, a symbol of continuity, stability, and the life that keeps moving forward. Ty steps closer, placing a reassuring hand on her back, and Amy tilts her head slightly toward both of them. These gestures, faceless yet intimate, speak of reconciliation without the need for dialogue. The voiceover gently reminds viewers, sometimes, love is shown not in words, but in presence, in touch. In shared silence, the camera slowly pans upward, capturing the golden sunlight spilling over the fields and barns, painting the ranch in a warm glow. The trio is shown walking slowly, the distance between them shrinking as they move, symbolizing the growing closeness now that old wounds have been acknowledged and forgiveness has begun. Every step they take together reinforces a sense of stability and hope of family united. Once again, the section ends with a lingering shot of them standing at the edge of the paddock, the wide-open fields ahead symbolizing endless possibilities. Their faceless forms are small against the vast Heartland landscape, yet their connection is immense. The music swells softly, carrying a feeling of closure, of love rekindled, and of future adventures waiting to be shared. Voiceover closes this chapter. Some journeys test us, some reunions heal us, and some moments remind us that hope always finds its way back home. The sun dips lower behind the horizon, casting a golden glow over Heartland's fields, painting long shadows that stretch across the paddocks. The warmth of the light mirrors the warmth spreading through Lyndy, Ty, and Amy, who stand close but not confined, connected yet free. Faceless shots capture the delicate gestures that speak louder than words, a hand resting lightly on a shoulder, fingers brushing in silent reassurance, a soft lean toward one another that conveys trust and affection built over years. Lyndy steps forward, a subtle shift in posture signaling both vulnerability and courage. She reaches out again, this time not hesitating, her hand lightly touching Ty's arm. The camera focuses on this moment, faceless yet intimate, the slight tremor in her fingers emphasizing the depth of the emotion she carries. Ty responds with a gentle movement, leaning slightly into the touch, an unspoken acknowledgement of her presence, of her struggles and of her place in their lives. Amy, facelessly captured from the side, folds her hands together briefly before reaching to place one lightly on Lyndy's back, completing a circle of connection that radiates warmth and understanding. The voiceover captures the emotional undercurrent, reflecting their shared inner thoughts. We've waited for this moment, not just to see each other, but to feel each other again, to know that despite everything, we are still here, together. The words linger softly as faceless flashbacks intertwine. Hands once separate, now meet. Shadows of past conflicts dissolve into light, and the gentle sway of the barn door in the wind symbolizes closing of one chapter and the start of another. A gentle breeze lifts through the paddock, rustling leaves and horsetails carrying with it a sense of renewal. Faceless visuals show subtle motions, Lyndy tilting her head slightly, Ty adjusting his stance to mirror hers, Amy stepping a fraction closer. Every gesture conveys forgiveness, acceptance, and the quiet joy of reunion. The music rises delicately, swelling with emotion, but never overpowering the intimacy of the scene. Accentuating the profound bond that unites them, Lyndy finally lowers her hand, resting it lightly on her own chest, a silent promise to carry forward the lessons of the past. Ty mirrors the motion, a subtle shift that shows he too has been changed, softened by this reunion. Amy takes a slow, deliberate breath, signaling her peace and contentment. Though no faces are shown, the camera captures their faceless yet expressive closeness, the slight lean, the almost imperceptible nods, the gentle, intertwined hands conveying a depth of emotion that words could never fully capture. The scene shifts slightly, showing their backs as they slowly turn toward the horizon. Faceless but powerful, the trio moves together, walking toward the fading sunlight and open fields. Each step is measured, deliberate, and symbolic of a journey marked by love, forgiveness, and the promise of tomorrow. Voiceover reflects this sense of hope. Some moments stay with us forever, not because of what is said, but because of what is felt. Today, we remember that family is not just blood. It's heart, it's courage, it's coming home. Finally, the camera lingers on the ranch from a distance. The three faceless figures, small yet radiant against the sprawling landscape. Horses graze peacefully nearby. The wind whispers through the trees. The golden sunlight casts a warm glow that speaks of peace, healing, and new beginnings. The music softens to a gentle, lingering note, leaving viewers with a sense of closure and a quiet anticipation for the next chapter of their lives together. The sun has lowered further, casting long golden streaks across the Heartland Ranch. Shadows stretch over the paddocks, soft and embracing, as if the land itself is wrapping the trio in a quiet sense of peace. Faceless visuals capture subtle yet meaningful gestures. Lyndy adjusts her coat as she walks. Ty's hand brushes against hers lightly, and Amy tilts her head, taking in the horizon. Every small motion speaks of calm, unity, and the promise of days ahead. The camera shifts to the wide-open fields, emphasizing the vastness of Heartland and the freedom it represents. Horses trot leisurely across the paddocks, their movements graceful and unhurried, a reflection of the trio's newfound serenity. The voiceover captures the inner emotions without showing faces. The past has shaped us, tested us, but now we walk together. Each step forward is ours to take, and the future is wide open, waiting. The words linger softly, filled with hope and gentle resolve. Faceless shots show them moving together toward the barn. Lyndy pauses briefly, hand brushing over a fence post, a symbol of grounding and continuity. Ty mirrors the motion, almost instinctively, a subtle connection forming between them and the land they call home. Amy follows, walking slightly behind, but close enough to maintain the unspoken circle of support. Their shadows stretch across the golden grass, intermingling and merging, symbolizing the bond that has been reforged. A gentle breeze lifts through the ranch, carrying with it the scent of hay, earth, and the soft tang of freedom. Faceless gestures a hand on a shoulder, a shared glance toward the horizon. Subtle nods show their connection more clearly than words ever could. Music swells softly, blending the quietness of the landscape with the internal rhythms of their hearts, marking a chapter of healing and hope. Quick, faceless flashbacks of happy moments, laughing together in the barn, sharing quiet conversations near the stables. The horses running through fields interweave with present movements, signaling the continuity of life and joy. As they reach the barn, the camera pans upward, capturing a wide shot of Heartland in all its glory, rolling fields, barns bathed in golden light, and the trio silhouetted against the fading sun. Facelessly, they stop and turn slightly toward each other, the unity of their stances conveying trust, love, and the promise of a shared journey ahead. The voiceover reflects the hopeful tone. We can't predict every challenge, but we can choose to face them together. This is our home, our family, and our tomorrow. The camera then gently shifts to show their faceless hands coming together briefly, fingers lightly touching, shoulders aligning, subtle gestures of commitment and mutual support. It's a quiet moment, yet profound, capturing the essence of reconciliation and the calm after years of turmoil. Music drifts into a serene, uplifting melody, the kind that makes viewers feel a sense of peace and promise. The final shot of this section shows the three walking slowly toward the open fields, their faceless forms small but purposeful against the expansive Heartland landscape. The wind rustles softly, the horses graze peacefully, and the golden light lingers like a blessing on this new chapter. Voiceover concludes the section. Every ending is a new beginning. And as they step forward together, the story of Heartland continues, filled with hope, love, and the promise of brighter days. The sun has nearly disappeared behind the horizon, casting a soft amber glow over the Heartland Ranch. Shadows stretch long across the fields, and the gentle sway of the trees whispers a quiet promise of tomorrow. Faceless visuals show Lyndy, Ty, and Amy standing together at the edge of the paddock. The warmth of their connection visible in subtle gestures, hands brushing, shoulders leaning slightly toward each other. Small shifts of movement that speak volumes about trust and belonging. The camera pans outward, capturing the ranch in all its serene beauty. Horses graze nearby. A soft wind rustles the leaves. And the barn stands as a silent witness to years of memories, trials, and now reconciliation. The voiceover speaks softly, reflecting the emotional journey viewers have witnessed. This reunion was years in the making. A journey of forgiveness, courage, and the undeniable bond of family. Today, hearts have healed, connections have deepened, and love has found its way back home. Faceless shots linger on small, intimate moments, Lyndy's hand lightly resting on Ty's arm, Amy tilting slightly to whisper a quiet thought. Their subtle nods signaling understanding and closure. Each movement captures the emotional resonance of the reunion, allowing viewers to feel the weight lifted and the joy blooming quietly among them. The music swells gently, a soft, uplifting melody that underscores hope and continuity without, overshadowing the intimacy of the scene as the camera slowly pulls back. The trio walks toward the open fields, faceless but unmistakably united. Their silhouettes blend with the golden horizon, symbolizing not only the end of one chapter, but the beginning of another, filled with possibility, growth, and shared love. The voiceover emphasizes the takeaway. Some moments change everything. This one reminds us that forgiveness is possible, that love endures, and that family, however imperfect, is always worth coming home to. The final shots linger on the Heartland landscape itself, wide fields bathed in fading light, barns standing quietly, horses moving freely. Overlay text appears subtly on screen. Heartland S19, FFE8, Lyndy, Ty, and Amy's emotional reunion. This reinforces the video's identity and helps viewers remember the heart of the story. The closing call to action is gentle, heartfelt, and audience-focused. If this reunion touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and comment your favorite moment. Subscribe to join us for more Heartland fanfiction adventures, where every story brings hope, love, and the magic of family. The music softens into a final lingering note as the camera fades to black, leaving viewers with a sense of closure, satisfaction, and anticipation for what's to come. The emotional journey ends, but the promise of Heartland continues bright, hopeful, and full of heart.